I found the phone buzzing inside the drywall 3 days after I moved into the studio apartment on 4th Street. It wasn't a ringing sound, just a low, rhythmic vibration that made the framed pictures on the wall chatter against the plaster. I thought it was a pipe at first, but the pulse was too deliberate. I used a kitchen knife to score the paint and a hammer to peel back a section of the wall near the baseboard. Tucked between two studs was a cheap burner phone, its screen glowing a sickly blue. It was currently in a call. The timer on the screen read 4,812 hours. My heart did a slow roll in my chest. Who stays on a call for 6 months? I put the phone to my ear, my hand trembling so hard I almost dropped it. At first, there was nothing but the faint hiss of static. Then I heard a sound that made the hair on my arms stand up. It was breathing, heavy, wet, and perfectly synchronized with my own. I froze. I held my breath. The phone went silent. I exhaled a long, shaky breath, and a second later, the same sound echoed from the tiny speaker against my ear. It was a delay. I spent the next hour testing it. I would clap my hands, and 30 seconds later, the phone would play the clap back to me. I figured it was some weird feedback loop. I sat on my bed, staring at the hole in the wall, trying to make sense of it. The apartment was small, a single room with a kitchenette and a closet that smelled like cedar and old dust. But as the sun dipped below the skyline and the room turned a bruised purple, the phone made a sound I hadn't made. It was a metallic click, the sound of a key turning in a lock. I stared at my front door. The deadbolt was still thrown. The chain was on. I hadn't touched it. But on the phone, I heard the door creak open. I heard heavy footsteps on the hardwood.
"He's sitting on the bed," a voice whispered through the speaker. It was a raspy, jagged voice I didn't recognize. The realization hit me like a physical blow. The phone wasn't delayed. It was a live feed from a different microphone, and the person on the other end was describing what they were seeing now. I wasn't listening to the future. I was listening to someone watching me from a vantage point I couldn't see. I didn't wait. I lunged for the window, sliding it up and tumbling onto the fire escape just as I heard the closet door behind me shatter on the phone's speaker. I scrambled down the metal stairs and didn't stop until I reached the police station. They found him 10 minutes later. He was the building superintendent. He had carved out a hollow space behind the closet wall, a narrow observation deck. He hadn't been using the phone to listen to me. He had been using it as a wireless mic to record his own commentary. He wasn't a ghost, just a man who had been living 3 inches away from me the entire time.